Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Alyssa, and for today's video, I'm coming at you yet again with a makeup tutorial. It is obviously on this look that you see right here, and while I do realize that this is pulling a little fall toned, which I'm not mad about, you can definitely change that by swapping out the lip shade for something a little bit more neutral if that is your taste. But anyways, you guys, I'm super excited to jump into this. I hope you guys are too. And if you would like to find out how to get this look for yourself, then let's just go ahead and get started. Okay guys, starting off, I'm gonna use my Dr. Brant Pores No More Luminizer Primer because your girl's skin is still a little bit dry. And so I want to give us a little bit of something to hopefully mask that. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation today. I have the shade Warm Beige. I'm hoping this is my color right now. Normally this is only my summer shade, so we will see. Pumps. And I'm just gonna go ahead with my beauty sponge. Oh, perfect. Oh, it smells so good. And next, I'm just gonna go in with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewinder. This is the Neutralizer one. Just kinda. So I'm gonna set it with a little bit of translucent powder and my Morphe M438 brush. I'm gonna go in with this Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion Bronzer. This one is in 30 medium, I think. I have not used this in a long time. And I'm just going to get a duo fiber brush like this. And we are going to pop that on our face. And then I'm going to go in with just a twinge of this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. Mine is in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. And again, because I said I am a little dry, we're gonna bring, you know, a little bit of dew. So I'm just gonna do a light dusting here. Just like so. I know, who is she? Okay, so now we're going to start on the eyes. I'm going to be using the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill, what is this, Armed and Gorgeous palette. So this is the one that has the more like neutrally earthy type of tones. I have done tutorials on each individual Vault palette, and I will put those down below and put cards up or whatever if you want to check them out. And so for today, we're going to go in and we're going to start with this Access shade right here, which is the more yellow shade in the palette. And we are going to start buffing this into our upper crease. I will say what I find with these shadows is when you come in, if you will kind of like pat first, like just kind of lay down some of the color, it makes it a little bit easier to blend out without having to use as much product. So from here, I'm going to take a Morphe R39. This is the same as like a, what is it? M433 or MAC 217. And I'm going to dip into this shade right here called Secure. And this is the more like warm tone orange versus like this one that's more of like a neutral tone. And so we're gonna dip into that shade and we're gonna start working this into this outer crease right here. Outer crease. Outer edge of the lid and then up into the crease. Lord help me. Again, packing this shade just like that. I'm gonna pull it in a decent amount, maybe about halfway onto the lid, and then start working it into the crease. Making sure to blend up and out, because while I do want this to be a very blown out kind of smoky looking eye, I do not want it to like droop down and make my eye appear more droopy. we want a lifted effect. So even though I did it in a rounded kind of thing to fill the crease, I am going to brush like this. It's a little technique that I use where you don't really have to make the shape of kind of like a wing or like a lifted triangle, but you can kind of give the appearance that the eye is lifted anyways. And so from here, what I'm going to do is take a Morphe M506. You guys know these are some of my favorite little fluffy shader brushes. And I'm gonna go in with the Smooth Criminal shade, which is this, you know, warm tone orangey brown. And we are gonna start deepening up this outer portion with this. So what we're gonna do is, again, pack on the color just like this. And then I'm gonna bring it in just like that. And then we're gonna start lightly buffing this out with the exact same brush. I'm pulling this lightly into the crease, very lightly. I don't want to bring this in too much, but I want to make sure everything blends. And then like I was doing before with the orange shade, gonna take a little bit and just kind of flick it up like this. Again, to create a more lifted effect on my eye. So I'm going in with a pencil brush now. So this is more dense than obviously the brush that I was just using. And it's a little bit more short-haired, so you can have a little bit more control with it. This is a Morphe E36. And I'm now going to take the deepest brown in the palette called Prowl. And we're gonna pick up just a little bit to start. You can always add more, it's harder to take away, especially when you get to this point. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work down here on the lower lash line. Again, really packing that on at first, and then kind of bringing this up as you see. And then really, that's kind of it. Like, you're almost gonna do just like a little dot. Really don't wanna bring this up into the crease because I don't wanna muddy the crease area. And so literally, as you can see, literally it's like a little dot, focusing really on the lash line because that's the part that we want to look the deepest. And then once you get like two little, you know, dark patches that look like that, we're going to start blending ever so slightly with the same brush that you have right now as we have some color on there. And then we're going to switch back to that Morphe M506 to really give it that buff and that blend that we're talking about. Just as a last little touch, I am going to do a little bit of liner, but I'm going to use the eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with that darkest shade Prowl on just a Sigma E65 like angled liner brush. Pick up a little bit of that, and we're just going to kind of push this right nice and tight along our lash line, just to really give us some depth all the way around, make the falsies look a little bit better. So I'm going to take this Appeal Cosmetics Gel Liner in Deep Taupe. This is a really pretty brown liner, and I'm just going to line my waterline with that. And now I'm just going to take that same angled liner brush because I don't want to waste another one. Go back in with that Prowl shade and line right up on my lash line to make the bottom lashes look as dark as they can. And then now what I'm going to do is literally just take that same M506 brush and lightly blend that out, starting with nothing on the brush at first. I don't want to smoke this out too much. I think I want to put the green down here, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna go ahead and going with that green, which is top secret. Hopefully I don't ruin everything that I've literally done thus far, but I'm just gonna go on that M506 and then just start. I'm just gonna start by packing it on there. Well, that's not gonna look bad, okay. And then I will buff it out. Like that, so it can look kind of messy, but that way it meshes as good with the brown as it can. And then just literally go to town. I'm just gonna take that same Morphe R39, but I'm gonna dip it just a twinge into that access shade, so the yellow, and just lightly hit the very, very edge. Okay, so I was going to put on falsies. That was my whole game plan, but then my lashes started looking like this and I was like, nah girl, this is great. You guys already should know that this is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang on these lashes. You guys, this is my favorite mascara. I'm going to continue to say it. I'm going to continue to annoy you. You're going to have to deal with it. But there's that. So I decided no falsies. This is what I'm going to do, especially since I know a lot of you guys don't like falsies or you're not comfortable with them. And so I do like to feature looks without them, but obviously you can pop on a pair if you want to. Now we're gonna go in with a little bit of highlight. So I want to take this VIP shade right here, but I think I want to do the VIP and a little bit of this Guilt Trip shade, just so like it's not such a stark white in my inner corner, because I wasn't gonna do anything, but I want something. So I'm going to do it just like this and paint it. I'm starting like in the upper section, if you can tell, like instead of doing it all right here, I'm gonna start right here and just pull it like this. And then for my brow bone, I'm just gonna take a little bit of Guilt Trip, which is the gold. I'm talking about the tiniest bit, and just hit like the upper portion, just like this. Just pretty much the highest point of my brow. And then there it is. So I'm gonna throw on some brow gel, obviously just using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel that I have in here. Trying to use this bad boy up. Okay, so from here we're almost done. We just gotta finish a little bit of the face up, girl. Just got a little bit more here to do. So for blush, I think I'm just gonna go in with a twinge of my Note Cosmetics blush in Desert Rose, and just kind of pop that on because it's gonna be quite neutral. It's gonna pretty much already mix with the, what the heck did I already put on my face? A bronzer. You guys, I'm reaching my end. So I'm just gonna kind of pat that on right there, bring that in like I normally would, but not over the nose today. So just like that. Okay, so for highlighter, let's just kind of stick with our Jaclyn theme and use some Champagne Pop. You guys, I'm pretty sure this is the only product in my entire collection that I have hit pan on. But it's like one of my favorites. Oh my god, it's my favorite thing in the whole entire world. So I'm going to use some of this, and I'm just using a Real Techniques setting brush. And start right up here on these. So good, girl, so good. Pull it back, cup it like that. Okay guys, here is the lip I'm going to settle on. I have literally changed it 3 different times. Initially I was going to reach for a nude, but it felt too, I don't know, it just felt like it wasn't kind of different enough. It felt like it was just kind of run of the mill, if you will. But if you want to do a nude, if that's what makes you guys comfortable, I was gonna either do Dose of Colors Nude Mood or the Bite Lip Crayon in the shade Amaretto. Those are absolutely beautiful and what my mind immediately sought after. But I did like 3 other lip combos and it was like too coral or too pink, and I just couldn't settle. And even this I feel is like a tad too orange, but I don't want to take it off again. So if you're wondering, I use the Fenty Beauty Mattemoiselle lipstick in Freckle Fiesta, and then topped it with the Dose of Colors Desi and Katy over the top gloss. Anyways, you guys, that is all for today's video. This is the completed makeup tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and if you hit that notification bell, you will never miss an upload from me. Last but not least, you can also come follow your girl on Instagram at Alyssa and Pope, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!